What's up, guys? Back in the shop today. As you can see, my car is not in the shop, and fake trees are in the shop, tables and chairs. We had Thanksgiving out here like we do every year. A bunch of people come over, and right now it still hasn't recovered from that. We just said we got tables, chairs. Some of these have to go back, so they're borrowed from like a church or something, or else I would just put them away and get my car in here, but I can't do that. So we're gonna grab the jacks, we're gonna grab some blocks and some jack stands, and we're gonna put it up and measure the drive shaft so we can get the drive shaft ordered, and then probably string this in with the video of me making something else, but right now I can't do too much without it in here, so we're gonna do that now. Alright, so we got the car up in the air. It's been a while since I've had to do this. You know, ever since I got my lift, I don't really be crawling underneath cars like this anymore. But I'm gonna crawl underneath it here. Should be just enough clearance to get my measurement for my trans and count the splines. And then get this thing back down so when the shop's clean I can roll her back in and start working on my clutch stuff. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, busted out my trusty Stanley tape. Got the measurement 46 5/8. I'm gonna call it in now. See if the drive shaft shop can start making it. And if they can, it'll probably be done by tomorrow and I can come pick it up, and that way when the clutch stuff gets done, this thing will be able to drive out. Once I make a throttle cable bracket too, which I have a good idea for, I just have to have the car in here to work with it and kind of free up my fabrication stuff. I'm gonna need the plasma cutter, which is back there. Gonna need the welder, which is out, but plasma cutter is still stuffed in there. So soon enough, guys, we'll be right back on it. 46 5/8, I'm gonna call that in and let them know. Alright, what's up, guys? I got my drive shaft ordered yesterday. It was quite the process. He needed a lot more measurements than I thought. I thought it'd be really simple, like, dude, T10 slip yoke, R200 differential flange, but you needed like the measurements for those so you could get the exact ones, because they don't have them like cataloged like that, I guess. But today I got my clutch master cylinder out so I can make the adapter plate to run the 3/4 bore. And I found something interesting under here. If you guys look, this was probably not a manual car, because this hole's very jaggedly cut. It looks like they almost drilled a bunch of holes and then punched the center out. So one second. Alright, so I'm gonna go show you guys what we got to work with. My shop is still like in banquet mode. It's only been a day, nothing's changed. Should be getting this like somewhat cleaned up today, so hopefully I can get it in here. But at least I'll be able to bust out my plasma cutter and shit today so I can work on what needs to get done. But basically what I'm doing is taking the original master cylinder, cutting a hole for the bore to fit through of the master, and then it's gonna have two holes that are gonna bolt like in the same pattern as these because they're offset, and these are straight up and down. So you can buy these plates for like 40 bucks, but I'm gonna save some money because I have a plasma cutter. Just cut them that way. This sits right. 3/4 bore master. I have to switch out this. For those of you guys who've never done it before, just a little clip in there. This rod pops out. Pop it in this one. Got my AN adapter. So I have to make that plate and then bolt all that in and then run my clutch line and drop my trans, which I need it in here for. So hopefully we'll be able to get to that later today. Maybe get my throttle bearing in later today, but we'll see. Alright, so I got the adapter plate all made up. I just got to reflap this down these welds. I just redid them so that way it's extra strong. And it's got the offset bolt holes in it. It's not the prettiest things, but I'm going to reflap disc it. And pop it out real quick. Reflap disc and then paint this, and I just got the car, my drive shafts done, so I'm gonna go pick up my drive shaft. The lift is going back together today. We're cleaning up the shop, so I should be able to test fit that by tonight. I'll have my clutch line and stuff in way before that. Alright, just got back from the drive shaft shop. Just picked up this. Should be right, it appears to be right. This should be the flange I need. If not, it'll have to get changed out, but let me double check something. Yeah, I guess. So this should be, like I said, the right one. The guy said it shouldn't have any problem handling the power. He told me this thing should be able to do 1,300 horsepower, which I don't know what a 1,300 horsepower drive shaft look like, but it ain't fucking this. Anyway, I just got my clutch master in. Just had to paint the bracket while I was gone, so it's in there now, nice and sturdy. Let me focus. Got the AN line on. It'll like adjust for lighting. This is gonna have to get run through here and into the trans, but I don't really know how we're gonna route it yet because I don't know how far it needs to be, how long it needs to be. So I'm gonna try and put the lift arms back on and get the car in here and test fit this and paint it. Got some really good news here. My drive shaft fits perfectly. Probably could be in the slip yoke just a tad more, but this shaft sticks out to about here, and there's still that much in there, so I'm not worried about that. Bolts on back here. He did get the right flange for me. These U-joints look pretty nice. I'm just gonna paint it up now and take the trans apart and start working on my throwout bearing, and I'll get back to you once I figure out how that works. Alright, I'm just gonna give you guys a quick rundown on how this bearing works. So this slips over, it fits really tight on the collar of the transmission. This stud keeps it from rotating. It's got AN fittings, and then this actually just pushes out when you press the clutch. So, and this engages the clutch fingers there, and you got these sweet AN. This is an AN bleeder kit that puts the bleeder just outside. So I'm gonna install this now. Hopefully this fits through the hole up here. I don't really know if it will or not. Hoping it will. And then I'm gonna see if I can put these lines on through that tiny little hole. So we'll see. Alright, so I just had a really freaking long night dealing with this thing. Probably about for like 4 or 5 hours dealing with the drive shaft and the clutch and all that. So had a couple issues with the thing. We got, like, I spent probably almost over an hour bleeding it, and it was still having issues. So it turned out the adjustment was off. It was actually slightly pushing on the rod, so it wasn't allowing fluid to go back into the line. So we fixed that. I wasn't getting enough throw. I maxed the pedal out, so it was getting the max amount of throw. I bent some stuff, pulled some tabs out, took some sensors out to where it needed. Got the most amount of throw I could. Put it all together, and nothing happened. You could put it in gear, even idling. My trans is good, I checked. What happened is the throwout bearing is actually too thick. It might be because of my bell housing, but it's too thick, and when you bolt the trans to it, it's actually preloading the clutch fingers way too much, and it's just spinning. So I have to check online, see what I can do, and try and get a thinner bearing, or have like the nose of my transmission machined so this one slips on further, but that's where we're at right now. Alright, what's up guys? I got a quick update for you. I had a package I thought was supposed to come in today, but it's going to be in tomorrow, unfortunately. I was really excited for that. It's my solution for making this fit, we can say under the hood, because it's not really going to be under the hood, but I did get some stuff done, I should say. I did get my spacer for my transmission. This will just slip between the bell housing and the trans, and from what I read online, it should work. One guy said that these are pretty standard in doing the hydraulic clutch conversions. I might have to make it a little bit thicker, in which case I'll just cut a piece out of the metal I have here. But I got my throttle cable all done. Here's the bracket. It has the 2 studs here, so it doesn't spin. One's just to center it, one's got the bolt. This is like the little adapter I made. It's not very pretty, but this is what holds the cable to here. It slips in there, turns. This is the bracket that holds the throttle. It works great. I did a lot of other stuff where you can't really see. My wiring over here is all tucked and zip tied down. My O2 sensor wiring's tucked on both sides. This little bracket I made for this thing, so that way this doesn't bang around anymore. By the way, if you guys have a car and you're doing wiring, tucks and stuff like that, moving wiring around, buy these. They're zip ties. They're called fir tree zip ties. They have this little thing on the end. They pop right into a 1/4 inch hole. I used them when I painted my interior because I pulled a lot of them off and replaced them with new ones. But that's it for now. I might get the clutch working and make a quick update on that. But if not, see you next time. Alright, so you guys saw it. Like, I'm almost shaking right now. I'm so excited. The car drives. The motor still has to be bolted in. I actually just busted a couple donuts for my buddy up the street because I, like an idiot, forgot to tighten up my lug nuts. But the transmission spacer worked perfect. The clutch in this thing is so freaking light. It still seems like it needs to tune a little bit because, like, in the mid-range, like, I don't know, it doesn't hit. I didn't notice like a crazy amount of speed, but It does make a crazy amount of torque. I can speak for that. Like, you dump the clutch and it's gone. You know, it's not like a K or an SR where like for a second there's like that like the tires aren't spinning. Like this thing just blew the tires off and just whipped around. So it's crazy in that aspect. I think it might be the gearing even that's kind of making it laggy, because I know the gearing is kind of short, but it should still work for drifting. Like I said, I think it needs to tune more. It's already running a lot better. You can hit it wide open without any type of bogging. No fuel problems. Like running under load really did help tune it. This thing is actually amazing, honestly, in the tuning. Like I literally drove it for 5 minutes and I noticed how much it changed. Before you'd hit it wide open, it would run way too rich. It's already starting to lean itself out, and I'm really impressed with the Phytech. But that's it for today, guys. The car runs, the car drives. I have a lot of little stuff to button up inside, some small stuff outside. But that's it, guys. It runs, and I'm super excited, and we'll see you next time.